Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And we got some jam-packed stories today.
I know. This is like the aggro episode.
It is, man.
There's a lot of crazy stuff happening
Are
right
these
now.
all aggro stories? They are.
Kinda.
They are.
It's okay. We'll end with today in history, which are fun and light. End on a nice note.
Perfect. So Drake's Toronto home was visited by an alleged trespasser.
Yeah, definitely some scary stuff.
Jerry Seinfeld has had to apologize for saying Howard Stern isn't funny. Cardi B is defending herself against a Met Gala flub in which she couldn't remember the designer's name and just referred to him as some Asian guy.
Yeah, and she's trying to say it's not racist.
And Miss USA and Miss Teen USA have both resigned from the whole organization amid
They are done.
bullying and harassment allegations.
Yep.
Unreal. All right, let's start with Drake. So this is getting really interesting, this Drake and Kendrick beef, because on Wednesday, Drake's Toronto home, there was an alleged sort of trespasser who got to security, had a bit of a scuffle, and said that he was here to see Drake.
Yeah, this is intense. So basically, the security presence around Drake's property has been increased generally, which is great because they were able to catch this guy that showed up. Like you said, he said that he was here to see Drake. And this is the second incident that's happened at Drake's house in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane. Obviously, not that long ago, another security guard was shot in the chest and is in, he's trying to recover from his injuries.
Right.
They never found the suspect, or at least they haven't now. And now you have some other person showing up, and I think he's a target. Drake's house is a target right now. Everyone knows about this house, and the more that there's publicity surrounding the house, the more people are going to want to show up and be weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people knew where the house was to begin with, but obviously when Kendrick came out with his hit song, and it is like
Not Like Us.
I can't get Not Like Us. They Not Like Us. It's called Not Like Us.
Yeah.
I can't get it out of my head. But one would assume, or maybe potentially, these are like vigilante Kendrick fans. That's what a lot of people are thinking. Who knows if they are or they aren't? It's just like curious that in the days following that track, there's been these two pretty serious incidents.
Yeah, and I mean, the art for that track was a photo of Drake's Toronto home. And it had a bunch of like little pointers on it, as if there's like a bunch of
sex
offenders that live there. But this person that had trespassed seemed to be unwell because basically the person was apprehended under the Mental Health Act. So he was not all there.
Just as scary, if not more scary, than if it's like someone who's, knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Drake's got to be pretty worried right now. But, I mean, he's posting as if he's not worried, because just this morning he posted like a clip from a Netflix series called A Man in Full, which has Jeff Daniels' character, this guy named Charlie Crocker, appearing to spurt out his last thoughts as he dies on the floor. And so Drake posted this voiceover, and the voiceover goes, "I don't mean this as a criticism, maybe I do, but when you die, will people notice? When I go, there are going to be a lot of memories of me by a lot of people. Many who hate me. Even so, a person needs to live with vigor. Otherwise, what's the point?" So he's basically saying, like, people are coming for me. If I die, you know why, basically.
Look, it could also just be he's promoting the show, but I mean, he knows that people are going to say, like, oh, this is what he's thinking right now amid all the beef that he has with Kendrick Lamar.
And meanwhile, I just got to mention, did you see the picture, the TikTok of J. Cole, the guy who got out of the Kendrick beef? He deleted a Kendrick diss so that he would come for Drake, not him. And now he's chilling on the beach alone on his beautiful beach. And a TikToker went up to him and he says he's making his new album. Like, this guy's like on the beach while Drake is in hiding.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even seen any kind of paparazzi photos of Drake recently.
If you were Drake right now, would you be canceling public events? Is it that serious?
No, I don't think so. I think he should just show up, not even say anything about the beef, just go on with his day, come out with a new song about drinking in the club, and we can all rock to it.
If he had a mall appearance, I don't know that.
A mall appearance? Drake is not having a mall appearance.
I don't know what people do, celebrities do these days. I don't know. Okay. On to our next story. Jerry Seinfeld is apologizing for saying that Howard Stern isn't funny. So why don't we begin by playing you what Jerry said on Dana Carvey and David Spade's podcast.
Howard is interesting. Howard is a great interviewer, but comedy chops. I mean, can we speak candidly?
Sure.
No. Well, he got Robin.
Well, he gets serious,
and Robin
too.
is a big part of how
Yeah, they're
he's
all
funny.
great, but
Yeah.
let's face it.
Let's be honest.
He's been outflanked.
Ooh.
So Jerry's apologizing now, saying he feels bad. And what I meant to say is he must feel surrounded.
Mhm.
But I said outflanked, which sounds terrible and insulting. Please forgive me.
I mean, this is the worst thing you could say about somebody that is, a comedian. To say that you're not funny or that people are funnier than you, that is shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Howard Stern is the original podcaster. I know he started on radio. But he kind of the genre is him. Like, he was the first one to do these silly little long radio episodes. And now Jerry's basically saying the podcast world is caught up. In fact, it's outflanked him. I think Jerry is off on this, and he's he's coming for the king of the genre.
I also think that Howard Stern still stands up till this day. Like,
Yeah.
he's still he still has a show. People still do interviews with him. He's amazing.
President Biden just did an interview with him.
Yeah, he's still landing very big gets.
Yes. So,
but I will say, as somebody that's not a super huge fan of Howard Stern, I don't really think of Howard Stern as a funny guy. I think of him as more like an interview guy that is really good at engaging conversation and getting topics going. He's very interesting to hear. But I don't think of him as an outsider. I don't think of him as oh my gosh, that guy's hilarious.
Right. No, that's true. I just think it's weird that Jerry Seinfeld would come for him in such a way unprompted.
Right.
I think Jerry's trying to promote his Pop-Tarts movie, and he's doing everything he can right now to get in the headlines. Recently, he said, you can't be funny anymore. The extreme left is killing comedy.
Yeah.
Even though, have you listened to any Jerry Seinfeld stand-up? He talks about, airplane peanuts, and that's not cancelable, conversation. He's acting like he's some offensive comedian. I think maybe he's taking shots at different things to get in the news. You talk about him, you mention the Pop-Tarts movie.
I mean, I guess we are mentioning it right now.
I'm boycotting that movie now.
Why? I love Pop-Tarts.
Jerry Seinfeld's kind of, getting on my nerves a little.
Really? Really?
I like Seinfeld. It's a fantastic...
This was the end for you, saying Howard Stern's not funny?
Well, I mean, I really like Seinfeld TV show. Obviously, it's
yeah, of course.
Crazy successful, but Jerry Seinfeld just isn't funny himself, really. Is he that funny?
Yeah, I don't find him funny either.
And now he's kind of annoying me, if I'm honest.
Wow, Charlie Cotton is canceling Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, God. All right. Cardi B is now defending herself against something she said on the Met Gala
Green carpet.
Green
and white.
So she was interviewed by a Vogue interviewer, journalist, and she couldn't remember the name of the designer who designed her crazy, amazing dress. It maybe won the Met Gala. It was so extravagant.
Yes.
And instead she referred to the designer as, they're Asian and everything. And so that got a lot of heat, obviously.
The way she said it, too, was very, very cringe.
Right. Well, now she's offering a defense video. I thought she'd come out with an apology video to the designer. His name is Sen Lee. I mean, that's pretty easy to remember. That's only
Sen Lee.
Sen Lee. Okay, gotcha. But now this is her defense video.
I had a lot of things on my mind, and I was being rushed to the front of the line. So when I was getting interviewed, I kind of forgot to pronounce the designer's name because his name is a little bit complicated. So I was like, damn, how to pronounce his name? My mind was just racing. I said Asian designer because I know that the designer was Asian, but I wasn't sure what nationality the designer was. And I feel like it's offensive if I was to be like, oh, some Chinese designer or some Korean designer or some Vietnamese designer.
He was a Chinese designer, by the way.
Yeah, and she never mentioned his name in this video.
Weird.
Yeah, this is pretty insulting because, to go to the Met Gala, you first have to be invited. And the people that invite you are the designers. So they will come to you, Dolce & Gabbana will come to you and say, we want to offer you an invite to the Met Gala as long as we design you. That is the whole agreement. You're not just getting an invite like, oh, come to the party. It doesn't work like that. You are invited to represent, to be a model and wear the garments of a designer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a really big deal that Sense and Lease chose Cardi B and said, we want you to represent us. They design her dress, do the whole thing. And then here she is on the red carpet and she just says, oh, I don't know the designer, but they're like Asian and everything.
Yeah.
Just very cringe.
And now her defense video isn't at all like look, I apologize to Sensen Lee. Obviously, he's an amazing designer. It's just like, screw all of you.
Right.
I didn't want to say Chinese because maybe he wasn't Chinese, even though he was. And it's just like, sometimes you just got to fall on your sword and say, my bad. Like at the time, she should have just said to the Vogue reporter, look, I can't remember, sorry. But obviously she said the Asian and everything. But I just don't understand this whole like so defensive rather than just saying, my bad, let's move on. And everyone would move on.
I think people wanted some accountability from her part. And instead it was just more excuses and no accountability.
There we go. Miss USA is seriously under threat as a competition, as an organization, because two of their stars have just resigned. What do you say? You gave the crown back? What do you like?
I don't know how it works. I don't think they've ever really dealt with something like
Have
this
they not?
before. I don't think so.
Because Miss USA, this lady named Noelia Voigt, and Miss Teen USA, now I can't even pronounce their names when I just criticized Cardi.
Uma Sofia Sirvastava. Oh. No.
Now we've just criticized Cardi and how we can't.
At least we're trying.
We are trying.
Yes.
So they've just resigned. They've handed in their crowns and their little baton one things that they get.
Oh my God, the sash.
The sash. Because apparently there's a lot of bullying and harassment inside the organization. They haven't specified exactly what, but they're held to ironclad, harsh contracts. They're forced to keep appearances despite, the workplace conditions, and they've both said enough is enough 7 months into their reign.
Yeah, and the crazy part too is apparently one of the beauty queens won't even speak with organizers. Instead, she would have her mother involved or her parents involved to be kind of the middleman because she felt the bullying was just out of control. She wanted nothing to do with it. But I am so curious because, we've kind of been in these past 5 years or so with the Me Too movement and, body positivity. All these pageants have really been under fire and have been trying to keep their head above water because they pretty much have been canceled. They've gone through, cancellation to cancellation, where first it was, why do we have the swimsuit portion of this beauty pageant? Why is it all about beauty? Why is it only skinny women? Why do all these women look anorexic? And then now they're coming into this bullying whole phase. I mean, it's going to be so hard for them to survive and to kind of recreate their brand and keep this thing going.
Nearly impossible. You seem like a bit of a, and it's not an offensive thing to say, like a bit of a
beauty
pageant.
Queen.
Yeah,
a
like
beauty
a pageant
queen
contestant, I was going to say.
I actually did try out for or enter a beauty pageant. It was for Miss Hollywood.
Okay, how'd you go?
Years ago. So I was actually told at the time by some girl that was really in the pageant world, because it's a community.
Right.
These girls live, breathe everything about these pageants. And I was told at the time by a girl that was also with me in the pageant, she said, you're not going to win.
You're too pretty?
Nope. She said, you're not going to win. They've already decided politically behind the scenes who the winner is going to be. And so, to be in these pageants, you have to get a sponsor who puts up a bunch of money. You have to sell tickets to the pageant. There's a lot that goes into being a part of it. You got to get a dress, all these things. And so I was just I don't know if I want to go through with all of this. And I had learned the whole dance routine. They have a whole dance routine when you come out with these little sashes and stuff. I had learned it all. I got a sponsor. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to go through with this, if it's going to be rigged. So I ended up dropping out 3 days before, which probably wasn't very classy. However, the girl that I was told was going to be the winner was in fact the winner.
There you
so
go.
After that, I was like, I'm not doing these anymore. But I met some cool girls.
You're Miss TMZ. So
oh,
that is the best.
You know what? I need a sash. Where's the crown?
Miss TMZ.
With some red jewels on
yeah.
it.
Okay, hit us
Charlie.
with your award-winning segment, Today in history.
Today in history. So it's May 8th. Oh, no, May 9th now.
Why do you always get the date wrong in Today in history?
You know what? I have tomorrow off.
Oh.
So I am like behind or ahead. I don't know. So today is May 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Today is National Moscato Day.
The wine?
Yes.
I hate that wine.
You hate Moscato?
That shouldn't even be a wine.
Too sweet?
Oh, it's gross. Next.
Okay. So you will not be drinking Moscato.
No.
In 1992, the Golden Girls aired their series finale.
I thought it was an older show than that, actually.
Really?
I thought the Golden Girls was like way before my time, but I guess.
I mean, it is kind of an old show, but it's not black and white. I mean, sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, I never
I
really
loved
watched it.
the Golden Girls.
Did?
I was a huge Golden Girls fan. I loved them, but it breaks my heart that they actually weren't even that old in it.
They're about
but
your
they
age
look
now.
so old. Oh, rude. You know what? They say millennials look the youngest out of any generation.
Am I a millennial?
Yeah, you're a millennial. You're in your 30s, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so we're millennials. All those preservatives we've been eating and drinking.
It's good for us.
Yeah, now we're preserved. Okay, and then in 1914, Woodrow Wilson proclaimed the first Mother's Day holiday.
Oh, it was the first Mother's Day in 1914.
1914. So Mother's Day is this coming Sunday. Do you guys celebrate Mother's Day in Australia?
Yeah, we got mothers over there.
But do you celebrate them? It's like
yes,
a holiday.
we celebrate our mothers. We celebrate our fathers.
Is it still the same like month or?
I think actually I might have to check because it's good. I kind of get out of it if I forget because you're in another country. But I should check. Send some flowers or something like that.
Poor Mama Cotton.
Poor Mama
She
Cotton.
wants a little recognition.
Yeah.
Couple birthdays today.
All right.
Really young birthday. Psalm West is 5 years old today. Kim and Kanye's kid.
Okay.
Yeah, we never really hear
Interesting.
too much about Psalm, but I'm sure they'll have some big party for him.
We're going to hear about those kids the rest of our lives.
I
They're going to be the
know.
next generation. Obviously, the next generation of Kardashians. They're going to have their own reality show soon.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Happy birthday, Psalm. And also Audrina Patridge's birthday is today. She is 39.
Oh, 39. Wow.
I was just watching The Hills the other day.
I like
'cause I
Audrina.
think it's on Netflix now. They had just like dumped all
Yeah.
the episodes. I loved her on it. She was so pretty.
She was one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah.
She was always with like the bikie guy. What was his name? Was she with Justin Bobby?
Yeah, Justin Bobby.
I love Justin Bobby. That guy's hilarious.
Which I think is so funny because I just watched the episode where they're meeting him for the first time. And they're like, so your name is Justin? He's like, yeah. And they're like, but your friends call you Bobby? And he's like, yeah. So they're like, what is your name? And he's like, well, I don't know. He like doesn't really know. He wants people to call him Bobby. So they just put it together. Justin Bobby.
Shout
as
out
like a
Justin
joke.
Bobby, man. What a
Shout
guy.
out Justin Bobby.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
We'll see you guys. Well, Charlie won't see
I
you.
won't be here tomorrow. Who are you going to replace me with?
Anyone. Just anyone. Okay.
All right. Well, they
Have
have
a
some
good-
big shoes to fill.
They do. All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.